Welcome to Kairos Aerospace. At Kairos, we work with oil and gas operators to rapidly reduce methane emissions. We concentrate on finding emission sources such as the one here. This is a compressor station in West Texas that is leaking hundreds of thousands of cubic feet of methane per day. By finding and reporting these events to our customers quickly, we help them reduce their methane emissions in the most efficient way possible. Kairos customers typically see 45% or more methane emission reductions in their first year of working with us. We do this by flying our patented leak surveyor imaging spectrometers over oil fields. Each of these units, flying on light aircraft, can cover 100 to 150 square miles per day. The spectrometers provide images of the methane plumes as well as simultaneous optical imagery to provide operators with context for each source. Our data system records a wealth of information about each source. For every source, we know the precise time it was seen, the wind speed along the plume, the flow rate of the gas, the precise latitude and longitude, and even more importantly, which asset the emission is associated with. We record this information along with more advanced analytics for each and every source we find. The key advantage Kairos has is the scale that we operate on. We are currently flying 4 planes every day. Although most of our surveys are over Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado, we are also flying in 7 states and 1 Canadian province in 2020. Altogether, Kairos is monitoring around 61% of US oil production and a quarter of US gas production. This gives us an enormous database of methane emission sources. Our work with our customers provides us with ground truth verification for a large fraction of these. Here we show results from our spring survey in the Permian Basin. We are currently surveying a majority of the Permian Basin twice per year, with some areas being done quarterly. The oil and gas industry has never before had access to this kind of methane emissions data, and it is providing us with surprising insights into methane emissions in the basin. One of the results of this powerful data set is the ability to understand where in the oil field emissions are coming from. For decades, oil and gas operators have used engineering estimates to guide them in their efforts to reduce methane. These estimates are generally inaccurate and don't reflect the complicated reality of an oil field. But now we have real, basin-wide measurements. This allows companies to more efficiently direct their mitigation efforts and maintenance resources. We can also divide this emission data by company to get an idea of relative emissions performance in the Permian Basin. Here we have ranked 47 operators in the Permian by their emission rate per well. We can easily see that there is a wide disparity in the emissions performance of these companies. Much like with the distribution of leak sizes, we see that a small number of companies are driving emissions. Many operators, in fact, have low emissions. Interestingly, these high performers are not necessarily the largest oil companies. Companies of all sizes are able to achieve high performance. This is a very positive result of our survey. This means that it is possible to achieve low emissions with today's technology and processes. If all of the operators improve their performance to match this high-performing group, we calculate that emissions in the basin would be reduced by about 87%. This is a very exciting possibility, and we think that we can help these operators achieve this goal, since often only a handful of sources need to be addressed. We think that because it is already happening. Since January of 2019, Kairos has surveyed over 15,000 square miles of oil fields, inspecting over 100,000 facilities and 42,000 miles of pipeline. Our customers are actively repairing these emission sources, and in this time have stopped 7.5 billion cubic feet from getting into the atmosphere. This is equivalent to nearly 4 million tons of CO2. That's more of a greenhouse gas impact than every Tesla car ever sold. A full accounting of the costs of finding the emissions and repairing them means that this technique of finding and fixing large methane leaks reduces greenhouse gases at a cost of 68 cents per ton, a couple of orders of magnitude cheaper than most schemes to reduce greenhouse gases. This is just part of an industry-wide movement to reduce methane emissions, and at Kairos, we are excited and proud to be a part of it. Thanks very much for your time, and I hope to hear from you soon.